All right, so today's video is going to be a very quick video because my plans for today working in the city totally got changed, and I think for the better. Let me show you what's going on. So, yes, that is a saw. So I was trying to figure out what to do with this space here. It's an awkward size space. It's like 3.5 by 5. Super weird. It's hard to deal with anything because I'm right up against the botanical garden. I'm up against this little farmer's market and stuff, so there's no way to get a road through there. And so we're going to cut the table off. I know. I thought I was just moving stuff around today, and next thing I know, I got the saw out cutting inside the Lego room, which is never a good idea. But here we are. So the plan here is I'm going to cut the tops off. I'm going to move the 2 front legs back to there, and then I'm going to cut right there where that set of screws is. And so what that does is this makes this now, even with this, I can shift this straight smack up against this just as it's always been. And I've just gained 12 base plates over in the pirate medieval area. And honestly, that sounds great. And so that's what we're doing. So here we are. Let's cut some stuff. All right, got the tops cut out. One of the things I didn't account for was that my circular saw couldn't go all the way against the wall because it hit the wall. So I had to get out the good old sawzall to finish off that little cut there. That little cut looks real rough. But it's all right. We got it out. Next thing, we're going to support this corner, move the leg back here, and then sawzall straight through this. This is really not what I had on my schedule for today, but here we go. Okay, so no joke, this is out. But I'm not going to lie, that might be the absolute worst thing I've ever done in the city, or as far as Lego goes. That was awful. So when I got back here, again, I had to do very careful things with the sawzall. And it got kind of wedged in there. You can see it's not a great cut. It got wedged in there, and it really shook the table. I mean, you can see how far the modulars are out. It actually split this back apart. I did move this over to pass the circular saw across here when I was doing this. But it was really pretty abrasive. Definitely would not recommend at all. That was really probably one of the worst things I've ever done. But it's out. And so the next step is, sorry if you're getting seasick. The next step is to get this cleaned up. I got both the legs back in. And you can kind of see how I supported it without the legs. 2 Instacrates, a piece of plywood, and then there was a 2x4 and some shims to support the weight while I had the legs out. So the next thing is to shift this whole thing over. Now, the cool thing about this that actually kind of solves one of my problems is I ran out of plugs on my power supply that's underneath there. And so all of my Fortress stuff can actually get plugged into this power supply because this power supply is literally right there. So that is kind of cool that it solved that problem because I was about ready to buy another power supply. I didn't really want to do that. And so that actually kind of solved that issue. So that's cool. Now to get this whole thing moved over, which again is actually kind of scary too. Not awfully scary, but just a little bit scary. Because I'm just by myself. But I think this was the way to go in the end run. Okay, so I got this moved over, which again is actually probably not the best thing to do by yourself. Again, I'm going to go on record again saying that this is by far probably one of the stupidest things I've done in the city, especially doing it by myself. I do a lot of crazy things by myself just because I live by myself. It's easy just to get stuff done. You kind of learn how to do things just by yourself. And this might have been one of the stupidest ones. The point of failure in so many of the things I just did was very high. And the possibility of total wreckage of so many things was incredibly high as well. So I'm just going to go on record again saying I don't know if I would recommend doing this in the way that I just did it. I should have really pulled this whole section out, cut down the table in a proper way, pulled out of place outside, and done it the right way. This was not the right way to do it. I almost hate to even post this video, to be honest. But here we are. This is real life. This is the problems of having a city and doing stuff just by yourself. That's my little PSA, I guess. Okay, so anyways, obviously this gets filled in with the rocks, which I talked about. I need to rebuild, and I have a little rock piece for there to finish that off as well. So that'll all get filled in later. Tables moved. The fact that I moved that again by myself 3 feet was probably not a great idea. But anyways, so now I need to assess kind of what I need to do over here. If I'm just going to flip this table down here, make its own little separate table. Excuse me. If I'm going to maybe turn this, does that work? I don't know if that math works out. So I got to do a little bit of math and kind of figure out how I'm doing my tables over here. But this was the bulk of it for today, I think. I'm going to do some math and we'll update you in here in a second. Okay, so I decided to do it this way. I turned that table 90 degrees. I'm going to use this piece to make a little filler piece here, and then I'll need to fill in this section. If you remember, I talked about I was concerned about being able to reach all the way back into that back corner. And so what I'm thinking about back here I can do is I'll put a little brace or something here. I'll make like a U shape out of 2x4 to go up against this side, connect it in the back, connect it here, and then I can run a 24-inch wide shelf board this way, split it in half so that I could pop this section out and actually stand in here. And so I can reach kind of back into this area without it being too big of a problem. And I'll just try to make this area something that I can easily pull up out of place to remove. So that solves that thing so that I'll have to crawl back in there. But because this will stick out kind of like that. But that solves that problem too. So this actually solved maybe 3 problems that I was trying to puzzle out how to actually solve. And so this was good. Again, done in a very stupid way that I would not recommend. But we're headed in the right direction. I'll probably do that stuff tomorrow. It's getting a little late here. I think it's actually raining outside. It's ridiculously humid here in Tennessee. And so it's the evening, so it's starting to rain, as it does when it's super hot. But yeah, so that's the update. Let me know some thoughts down below. And we got lots to kind of clean up. But this is definitely headed in a fun direction. Lots of stuff I can do over here in the Pirates Castle Medieval Land that I'm very excited about. So thanks, y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for some more.